Next up, we have our nonfiction / script writing editor this year, Mr. Chase Night.
This is a short story I had published in this book, Falling While Sitting Down, last fall. I butchered it this afternoon to make it fit, so I hope it's still good. When I open my eyes, I won't care anymore. This is the thought I have mid-orgasm. It stands out because I don't normally have thoughts in the middle of orgasms, orgasms being orgasms and all. Frankly, it runs the whole thing. I finish in my black dress sock, the one with the $sign subtly embroidered on the calf. I wear them ironically these days, though not because I'm a hipster who thinks they're lame and therefore feels obligated to wear them to show how superior I am to concepts like lame, but because I bought these socks 6 years ago for my first job interview in the city. Turns out you can't buy an object with the intention of it being lucky. I'm a 24-year-old temp who currently earns $8 an hour working for the city of New York. That's where the irony comes in because it costs approximately $72 an hour to live in New York. So lately I've been jacking off at work. I started out doing normal things to pass the time. Texting my girlfriend on my phone, downloading music on my phone, playing games on my phone. Eventually there was nothing interesting left to do on my phone except watch amateur videos of moderately attractive girls putting themselves up on the world's most popular video sharing website. What I do is I find girls who don't show their faces because then I can imagine my girlfriend's face on the strange body I'm objectifying because I'm bored. I don't actually imagine her face on these bodies, since I purposefully seek out bodies that resemble another girl I once knew and never slept with, and have lately been feeling down about. But I tell myself I'm imagining my girlfriend's face on these bodies, and I think that's a lot more than most bother to do. So I still consider myself an excellent boyfriend. Not that there's anything wrong with my girlfriend's body, it's great. It's just not the one I never slept with. But now I've had this thought that ruined the whole thing because I get what the thought was trying to tell me, but I don't really know what to do with it all the same. So I just zip myself up and stuff the used sock in a deep pocket of my messenger bag and go back to work. I have a blister on each heel and something that feels like frostbite on each set of toes by the time we sit down to dinner. This isn't all bad because I really can't stand to have uneven sensations on my feet, which is why my feet ended up this way since I couldn't stand to walk with one sock on and one sock in my bag. So I just went ahead and used the second sock too. Then I walked from my office near the Brooklyn Bridge to Christopher Street to meet my girlfriend here. It's not a bad hike, even in February, with socks on. But without socks, it ranks high on the ever-growing list of reasons I am too stupid to be alive. I didn't really notice the pain until we were seated and the warmth of the restaurant began thawing them out. Now the nerves come out of their brief hibernation and react in horror to the torture I put them through while they slept. The rest of my body feels overheated in comparison. I'm hyper-aware of the excess of humanity in this closet-sized restaurant. I loosen the collar of my black work shirt, grateful the government doesn't give a shit about ties. Fainting seems a distinct possibility. You aren't even listening to me, are you? My girlfriend asks. This line strikes me as unoriginal. It grates my nerves like the shoes grate my frozen skin. She used to say such unique things, especially when I pissed her off. She had the most literary way of putting me down. I used to keep a notebook full of crazy, beautiful, hateful shit she said. Now she doesn't even try. She just reads from the same shrew script that every woman receives inside her first box of lady products. I'm not, is all I say, because originality is a two-way street. She smiles. I fucking hate you, Rafe. A grin storms past the pain, breaks onto my face. And I hate you. The truth will set you free, they say, and this is what is true now. We are two people who stay together because on occasion we muster up such fervent hatred for each other that it feels like love. We both watched our parents bumble through life as married best friends, never touching, never feeling. That's why when I had the chance to fuck my best friend, I ran away. Ran to this girl, ran with her to this place. The love faded, the resentment came, and I thought we might end. But then what followed was this blessed contempt that binds us together more than true love ever could. She reaches across the table and we lace our hands snugly together, like the strings of the fur-lined boots I wish I'd been wearing tonight. I trace the pattern of veins on the back of my girlfriend's hand, a pattern I know by heart in the same way that I know how to type 90 words per minute without looking at the keyboard once. When I think about how boring it would be to know such intimate things about her if we were still trying to be in love, she squeezes my hand because after 6 years our thoughts slip in and out of each other's heads like adult old people who don't remember where they live. Dinner goes well. Eastbound on Christopher Street, 3 blocks from the subway that will take us home to Morningside Heights, Lightheaded from the wine we obviously could not afford, she slips her arm around my waist while we walk. We are dangerously close to affection, but that idea is so absurd I don't bother worrying about it. We are simply in the delirious stage of hypothermia. I'm blissfully unaware of my feet again. If I weren't half drunk, I might wonder how I'm managing to walk at all. But I am half drunk, so I just get the job done. Jesus Christ! She flings her arm across my chest like a mom in bad traffic, and she stops my forward progress so effectively that I consider knocking her up when we get home. I survey the street for impending doom and see a likely candidate outside the corner head shop, but my girlfriend is looking down at the purple strips of skin visible between my shoes and my jeans. Are you stupid? Where the hell are your socks? I shuffle on my soon-to-be stumps. In my bag. They're dirty. How could they possibly have gotten so dirty that it was preferable to walk around Manhattan barefoot on Valentine's Day? I'm not barefoot. She's so stupid. Put them back on. We don't have insurance. If your feet have to be amputated, I'm going to have to do it myself. I imagine her sawing off my feet with the big kitchen knife I use to split open melons and squash for her vegan meals. I bite my chapped lip. I can't. They're really dirty. She stares at me and there's an unfamiliar element in her eyes which I fear might be concern. For my safety or my sanity, I can't tell. So I laugh. She just stands there with her hands on her hips, blinking too quickly, as if she can only handle seeing every other frame of my insanity. I want to put her up against that wall right now, but I can't afford any more frozen body parts. I came in them. It takes her a second to sort out the literal and euphemistic meanings of that sentence. Then she composes her face in this calm, neutral manner that strengthens my conviction that the time has come to impregnate her. So what you're telling me is that your socks are full of semen. Yes, that is what I'm telling you. Can you tell me how that happened? I missed you at work? She laughs. A blast of glacial wind whooshes through the space between us, pushing that beautiful sound all the way across the West Village and over the Hudson River, all the way to Jersey where God knows they won't appreciate it. You masturbated in a government building. If you do the math, I earned $2.27 for the first time, $1.75 for the second. She folds her arms under her breasts, purses her lips as if deciding what to do with me. This gesture carries more weight when she isn't wearing an Arctic streaked overcoat, but I can still imagine the way her breasts move upwards and closer together underneath all her layers. We're gonna do it tonight. She steps closer and catches the flaps of my coat in her gloved hands. Hell a cab. If my toes still work, they would curl in my shoes at all the implications in those three little words, but I just nod, afraid if I smile it might appear like I care. I limp toward the corner to hail a cab on the avenue. Being still made things worse, and for the first time I'm genuinely worried about my feet, not just dramatizing things in my head out of boredom like I have this tendency to do. She slips her arm through mine. At the corner, the neon lights of the head shop bounce wildly off the colorful glassware in the window display. The figure I noticed earlier comes into focus as we approach. A classic village gypsy huddled under a heap of shawls, leaning over a small table made of plywood and milk cartons where a spread of tarot cards awaits some idiot who actually cares about the future. Her eyes light on us when we are still 10 yards away and they don't waver. My girlfriend squeezes my arm, moves faster, anxious to get away from the little black eyes peering out of that crumpled old face. I keep my eyes straight ahead. This is the first thing you learn in Manhattan. How to pretend like other people don't exist. I consider myself something of an expert in the field. We both relax when she is at our backs so we can still feel those pinpoint eyes on our spines. The curb is steps away and my hand is reaching into the air when she speaks in a heavy Romanian gargle. She's cheating on you, boy. At the sound of that smoke-stained voice, our eyes find each other with an instant certainty of doom. It reminds me of the final moments of Bonnie and Clyde when the notorious duo makes eye contact right before the Texas Rangers riddle them with 1,000 bullets. She's cheating on you, boy. My girlfriend looks away first. I break the cardinal rule of the city and I look at the old gypsy woman. I scoff, but when I hear the feeble bleat that escapes my cracked lips, I know I'll be punished for breaking the rule. Yeah? Did you see that in your crystal ball? The gypsy lets out a sigh that rattles her lips like a raspberry. When she speaks now, the carefully crafted accent gives way to her natural Bronx. No, stupid, I saw her last night, standing right there with one of those vampires from Wall Street. Thought you ought to know before she gives you the AIDS or something. He had his hands all over her ass. There are 8 million people in this city and 7 million are being groped at any given moment. You must be mistaken. It was her, I don't lie. The Romanian theatrics creep back in. I look at my girlfriend and find her gazing into the onslaught of wind, arms folded over her breast, pushing him down. We're not going to do it tonight. I should put my arm around her now. Hail a cab, go home, try to get laid. That's what New Yorkers do. That is what I have to do. A real New Yorker would already be in a cab rocketing toward third base. I am now officially a failure at living in this city in every possible way. Here, look, I show you, just wait. The gypsy rummages in her shawls. There must be at least 37 of them, all different colors and textures and patterns. I wonder if she's wearing anything other than shawls. I wonder if I took off her shawls, would she even have a body? Or is she just another talking head in a city full of talking heads, telling other people what to be afraid of? She pulls out a crisp white business card. A genuine American Psycho business card. I can feel the premium card stock from here, and I know the name I'll find embossed in gold before I take the 3 steps to the gypsy's table and remove the card from her tar-streaked fingers. He left it last night, told me to give him a call so we can make some magic together. Like I didn't invest in Apple before he was born. I turn the heavy card over in my hand, run my thumb over the raised gold letters. Bryce Duncan, investment banker, my girlfriend's boss. 1 desk chair, 2 wooden spatulas, 3 green bowls caked with squash soup, 4 clear drinking glasses streaked with sour milk, 5 white picture frames filled with a love story that doesn't exist. These are the things we throw at each other when we make it back to Morningside Heights. Basically everything we could cram into 2 bright blue shopping carts at the IKEA on Long Island when we stored this place last year. I'll never repeat the things our neighbors hear us shriek as the moon's reflection moves from the East River to the Hudson. There was this emotion I had earlier in the day that I called hatred, but by the time the sun's reflection takes over the East River shift, I know that was a tragic case of mistaken identity. This is hatred. 6 years of pictures, knickknacks, kitchenware, pillow stuffing, and dreams scattered in a million pieces across these coveted hardwood floors. Crescent-shaped chunks of flesh missing from my biceps. A hotshot CSI agent would find them under her fingernails in no time. But I hope it doesn't come to that because the blood on the corner of the kitchen cabinet isn't mine. Because there was this moment on the kitchen floor when we could make things right, when everything I thought I knew about us 8 hours ago was true, when fury presented itself as our salvation, and in between the accusations, incoherent obscenities, and flashing claws, we found ourselves closer than we had been in months, and there was a chance to fuck our way to forgiveness. But her forehead hit the corner, and her blood got in my eyes. Hail a cab, she said, hail a cab. If only I'd raised my arms a few seconds sooner. Hail a cab, hail a cab, hail a cab. I need to hail a cab. She blots her forehead with a crimson towel. Only a surface wound, but that towel was periwinkle when I handed it to her 10 minutes ago. I closed my eyes. 3 little words on Valentine's Day. Hail a cab, she said, hail a cab. And she did care then, and I see that now, but it's too terrible a truth to look at directly, so I choose not to look at it at all. I searched for words to express my remorse, but the memory banks in my brain have sounded the alarm and shut down. I can't steal thoughts from the past to bring justice to the burglar of my future. There's only this. There will never be anything else. Her blood is washing it all away. The pain in my toes is excruciating. I hope it never ends. I hope I never forget that had I just been wearing my socks, it is possible that none of this would ever happened. We would have crossed the street without hesitation, and whatever truth that gypsy held would have been blown down the street by that terrible wind. We would have taken the subway home, and she would be reading a book, I would be watching TV, and we would not be having sex. That is a sadness we had learned how to handle in our own special ways. But then that is the reason I was wearing no socks, and the reason the gypsy had any truth to tell, and the circle is like the sun and I will go blind trying to figure it out. But now there's a glimmer of movement in the corner of my mind, a stray sentence wandering around my empty neural pathways, a random thought left on this side of my memories when the gates came crashing down. I know what to do with it now. The truth will set you free, it's true, but only when viewed in the proper light, which is to say no light at all. It's only in the darkness that we can see it without distractions. Now I know. When I open my eyes, I won't care anymore.